Her husband disappeared after their wedding night, only to return with another wife. The sun was setting over the vibrant village of Koro, casting a warm golden hue over the land as the last few drums beat for the day. All around, the villagers prepared for the grandest wedding they had ever seen, one that everyone would talk about for years to come. The union between Jabari and Safia was the talk of the entire region. Both hailed from esteemed families, and their love had blossomed like the wildflowers on the plains. Safia stood in her dressing hut, the excitement palpable as her sisters and friends helped her prepare. Her gown was a traditional one, threaded with gold and intricate beadwork that glittered in the fading light. Her reflection in the mirror showed a woman deeply in love, her heart brimming with joy at the thought of starting her life with Jabari, the man she had adored since childhood. "You are breathtaking, Safia," whispered her best friend Naima as she adjusted the beads woven into Safia's thick braids. "Jabari is a lucky man." Safia smiled, her heart fluttering at the mention of his name. "No, I'm the lucky one. He's everything I ever wanted." Outside, the celebration had already begun. The rhythmic sounds of drums filled the air, accompanied by the joyous shouts of the villagers. Jabari had arrived in a procession fit for royalty, dressed in deep green robes that marked him as a man of wealth and honor. His eyes glistened as he walked through the village, but there was an undercurrent of something else, a subtle unease that only those closest to him could detect. The wedding was lavish. The village chief performed the ceremony, and the elders blessed the union under the sprawling baobab tree that had witnessed countless generations pass beneath its branches. Safia and Jabari exchanged vows under the twinkling night sky, their promises of eternal love witnessed by the entire village. As they danced into the night, surrounded by laughter and joy, Safia couldn't stop smiling. Her heart was full, and she felt as though nothing could ever tear them apart. But as the final drum beats echoed and the stars began to wane, something changed in Jabari. His laughter grew quiet, his touch more distant. Safia noticed it, but said nothing. Perhaps it was just exhaustion, she told herself. When they returned to their new home, a grand house by the river gifted by Jabari's family, he was restless. "Are you all right?" Safia asked gently, placing a hand on his shoulder. He looked at her, his eyes clouded with something she couldn't place. "There's something I need to take care of," he said abruptly. "Now?" Safia frowned, confused. It was their wedding night after all. Jabari nodded. "It won't take long. I'll be back soon." Before Safia could question him further, he was gone. She stood there in the doorway, watching him disappear into the night. Something inside her churned, a sinking feeling she couldn't explain. Hours passed, but Jabari did not return. The night stretched into dawn, and with each passing minute, Safia's worry deepened. By the time the sun rose, her heart was pounding with fear. She rushed out to the village, calling out for help. "Jabari is missing," she cried, waking her family and friends. The villagers, still groggy from the celebrations, were alarmed. Search parties were quickly formed, and they scoured the surrounding lands, calling his name through the hills and by the rivers, but there was no trace of him. As the days turned into weeks, Safia was left in a whirlwind of confusion and heartache. The once joyous bride was now a shadow of her former self, haunted by unanswered questions. Whispers filled the village. Some said Jabari had been lured away by spirits, while others whispered that he had fled, unable to handle the pressures of married life. Safia refused to believe either. She knew Jabari, or at least she thought she did. Months passed with no word, and the villagers' sympathy turned to gossip. Sophia remained steadfast, wearing her wedding ring, clinging to the hope that one day Jabari would return. She spent her nights by the riverbank, waiting, praying, hoping. Then, one fateful evening, the sound of hoofbeats echoed through the village. The villagers rushed out of their homes, and there, standing in the moonlight, was Jabari. But he was not alone. Beside him stood a woman, tall, ethereal, draped in the finest fabrics Sophia had ever seen. The woman's presence sent a chill through the crowd. "Jabari," Sophia whispered, her heart racing as she stepped forward. "Where have you been?" But Jabari's gaze was cold, distant. He didn't meet her eyes. Instead, he introduced the woman. "This is Rania, my wife." The words hit Sophia like a blow. The crowd gasped, and murmurs spread like wildfire. Sophia's heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. How could this be? How could the man she loved, the man she waited for, return with another woman? Rania's eyes locked onto Sophia, and there was something unnatural about them, something that sent shivers down her spine. Sophia's world tilted, her heart breaking under the weight of betrayal. But as the villagers whispered and the elders debated, rumors began to circulate about Rania. They said she wasn't human. Some believed she was a spirit, a being from the other world, sent to lure Jabari away. Others claimed she had cast a spell over him, binding him to her in a way no mortal could break. Desperate for answers, Sophia sought out the village elder, Mama Amara, a woman known for her wisdom and connection to the spiritual realm. When Sophia arrived at Mama Amara's hut, the old woman welcomed her with knowing eyes. "I've been waiting for you," Mama Amara said. Sophia's heart raced. "Please help me. Who is this woman? What has she done to Jabari?" Mama Amara sighed, her voice heavy with knowledge. "Rania is no ordinary woman, child. She is a spirit from the other world. She has bound your husband to her, and as long as she holds him in her grasp, he is no longer the man you once knew." Sophia's blood ran cold. But why? Why would she do this? "The spirits," Mama Amara replied, "have their reasons. But if you wish to save Jabari, you will need more than hope. You will need to journey into the realm of the spirits and face Rania on her own ground." Sophia's heart pounded. Could she do it? Could she risk everything to bring back the man she loved? There was only one way to find out. Without hesitation, she made her decision. Sophia would journey into the unknown, to the spirit realm, to reclaim her husband from the clutches of the phantom bride. And so, her perilous journey began. Sophia's heart pounded as Mama Amara's words echoed in her mind. She had always believed in the spiritual world, but never imagined she would have to face it head-on to save the man she loved. The path ahead was dangerous, but Sophia was determined. She had waited long enough. "I'll do it," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I'll journey into the spirit realm to save Jabari." Mama Amara nodded solemnly, as if she had already foreseen Sophia's decision. "You must be careful, child. The spirit world is not like ours. Rania is powerful, and she will not give him up easily. You'll need something to protect you." From a wooden chest beside her, Mama Amara retrieved a small, intricately carved amulet. "This belonged to your great-grandmother," she said, placing it around Sophia's neck. "It holds the strength of your ancestors. Their spirits will guide you." Sophia clutched the amulet tightly, feeling a surge of warmth and strength flow through her. "Thank you, Mama Amara." The elder gave a sad smile. "Remember, Sophia, once you enter the spirit realm, time does not move as it does here. What feels like days there could be years in our world. With those words, Mama Amara began the ritual to open the gateway between the realms. The air grew thick with energy, and a strange wind swirled around them as the doorway to the spirit world began to open. Safia took a deep breath, stepping through the shimmering veil, leaving her village behind. The spirit realm was unlike anything Safia had imagined. It was both beautiful and eerie. Lush forests with trees whose leaves shimmered like gold, rivers that glowed softly, and creatures with eyes that glinted in the shadows. But Safia couldn't linger in awe. She had a mission. As she ventured deeper into the spirit realm, she heard a familiar sound, Jabari's voice. Her heart leaped as she rushed toward it, hoping to find him. But when she reached the source, she found herself standing at the edge of a vast lake. And there, on the other side, stood Jabari and Rania. Rania was even more beautiful up close, her ethereal form radiating an otherworldly light, her eyes glowing with a strange power. Jabari stood beside her, his expression distant, as if in a trance. "Jabari," Safia called out, her voice filled with desperation. "It's me, Safia. I've come to bring you home." But Jabari didn't respond. He stared straight ahead, as if he didn't even recognize her. Rania turned to Safia, a cold smile curling on her lips. "He is no longer yours, mortal," Rania said, her voice as smooth as silk. "Jabari belongs to me now, bound by the promises he made when he entered my realm." Safia's heart ached, but she stood firm. "You took him away from his life, his family, and his love. I won't let you keep him." Rania's eyes darkened, and she floated towards Safia, her presence commanding and intimidating. "You have no power here. Leave now, or face the consequences." But Safia refused to back down. She clutched the amulet around her neck and took a step forward. "I won't leave without Jabari." Rania's face twisted in anger, and suddenly the ground beneath Safia shook violently. The trees swayed, and the lake began to churn, as if the spirit realm itself was reacting to Rania's fury. But Safia didn't falter. She closed her eyes, focusing on the amulet, feeling the strength of her ancestors surge within her. "Jabari," she cried out again, her voice piercing through the chaos. "Remember me. Remember us." For a moment, nothing happened. Then, slowly, Jabari's expression began to change. His eyes, once clouded, flickered with recognition. "Safia," he murmured, taking a step toward her. Rania's eyes widened in rage. "No, he is mine." But Safia's love was stronger than any spell. "Come back to me, Jabari. Come back to the life we were meant to have." Jabari blinked, as if awakening from a deep sleep. "Safia!" Rania shrieked in fury, her form shifting into something darker and more menacing. But before she could strike, Safia held the amulet high, and a blinding light burst forth, surrounding them both. The spirit world trembled, and Rania's form began to dissolve, her power crumbling under the force of Safia's love and the strength of her ancestors. With a final, ear-piercing scream, Rania disappeared into the mist, banished from the mortal world forever. When Safia opened her eyes, she was back by the riverbank, Jabari lying beside her. He was awake, his hand gently brushing hers. "Safia, is it really you?" Tears filled her eyes as she nodded, pulling him into a tight embrace. "I thought I'd lost you forever." Jabari held her close, his voice filled with remorse. "I'm sorry, Safia. I don't know how I got lost, but I'm here now. I'm never leaving your side again." The village rejoiced at their return, and though the story of the Phantom Bride spread through the land, it was Safia and Jabari's enduring love that was remembered most. Their bond had not only defied the forces of the spirit realm, but had proven that love, when true, could overcome even the greatest of obstacles. And under the shade of the ancient baobab tree, where they had exchanged their vows, Safiya and Jabari rebuilt their life, stronger and more united than ever before. The phantom bride was gone, but their love lived on, eternal, unbroken, and unshakable. The story teaches us that true love is powerful enough to overcome even the darkest challenges. Safiya's unwavering devotion to Jabari shows the importance of persistence, courage, and faith in the face of adversity. It reminds us that love is not just about joy, but also about sacrifice and resilience. Additionally, it highlights the strength that comes from family, tradition, and the wisdom of our ancestors. Ultimately, it shows that evil or deception cannot triumph over a pure heart and genuine love. What do you think? Share your thoughts and reflections in the comments section below.